Welcome to another episode of Movie Torture. I'm Roger, and today again I've got Brad and producer Gary. Brad, being a former vet, happy Memorial Day to you. I guess this is a holiday I really shouldn't salute you on because you're alive. I mean, since we're more, celebrating.
Don't kill me yet, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but have you had a good weekend so far?
I have had a good holiday. It's been great and relaxing, and I get to come in here and talk about a crap movie.
Yeah.
So, producer Gary, have you seen this movie?
What's that movie again?
Exactly.
No.
That was perfect.
That was perfect, Gary. You haven't seen the movie?
What a setup.
What's the movie today, Roger?
It is On Deadly Ground. Deadly Ground was released 1994, February 18th. And so how about you just give us a synopsis as short, like... There's the what's the book we used to read instead of reading the book?
The Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. There's the Cliff Notes, and then there's the miniature Cliff Notes, which you're going to do right now.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, this movie is dude who wears funny jacket, former, I guess, CIA agent with a high pitched voice. There's like an oil spill, and then he comes to town. Michael Cain wants to employ him because they don't want this to get out. They all got money problems. There's a lot of fighting. There's a chick in it that he likes. Blah, blah, blah. He comes. He kicks butt. He wins. Movie over. I mean, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
He's gonna pretty much give the Michael Caine the comeuppance.
You know what I'm learning as we do this is that movies that I watched back, like this movie would have been in my 20s, and I watch it now, and I thought back in my 20s I was pretty mature, but I think this was not my favorite Seagal movie, but I look back now, I'm like, dude, why did you even halfway like this movie? I mean, it's so horrible.
It was all I could do to finish it.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking, man, I looked at the time, I'm thinking, oh, we're only 40 minutes into this movie and it's an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to sit through some more of this. It was a hard watch. It was very hard.
It was a couple things just from that era. The number one song in the country was "The Power of Love" by Celine Dion.
Oh, okay.
You want to?
I'm not a Celine Dion fan, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Producer Gary,
Nope.
Power of Love, that's Huey Lewis, right?
not
know
that
that one.
not that Power of Love.
Oh man, that's my Power of Love.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what I like.
Yeah. So this movie, oddly enough, as let's look at the character of Steven Seagal in this movie. Did you know that, when he started acting, he literally went right into a movie where he was the star of. He never did bit parts. He never was the sidekick. I mean, he literally, when he first started in the early 90s, as just, okay, he's the head actor and had never done anything else before.
That's hard to believe because he can't act. And
yeah, you would think.
I mean, usually you think you could act and carry a movie, but
I guess when you're the producer of he was actually the producer of his first movie, and I'm thinking, why is he producer when he's never done it before?
I guess that's a power move, right?
Yeah.
But when I think of Steven Seagal, I only think of two movies. Under Siege. That's his best movie, right? That's high mark Steven.
That's the one on the boat.
That's the one on the boat.
Yeah.
He's in the Navy.
Yeah.
And Executive Decision, where, if I'm not mistaken, he dies in the first 10 minutes. So it's good to get rid of the bad actor quick.
Is that the one where Kelly LeBrock nurses him back to health?
That's Kurt Russell on the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets killed. I think he gets killed in the beginning. And
what's the one where Kelly LeBrock was the nurse that?
Is that Above the Law?
I thought
Marked for Death or Above the Law.
Maybe,
has to be
maybe
one
it was
of
one of his first movies.
It had to be, because he was married to her, right?
Yeah, I think.
Could you imagine being married to Steven Seagal?
He actually was married, and then they hooked up while filming the movie, and then he ended up divorcing his wife. And
this is a stand-up guy right here.
I tell you what, he's just ethics just scream from his life. We'll talk about more about that.
So this movie On Deadly Ground, he wanted to make this movie, right? And the studio guys were like, we'll make this movie only if you do Under Siege 2. And none of us needed Under Siege 2, right? The fact that they gave him this environmental movie to make and let him direct it, Roger.
Yeah.
He directed this masterpiece.
Now, the beginning of this movie was like seemed like 5 minutes, like at the beginning of an Alaskan nature documentary, with all the pictures of the animals, the polar bear running through the snow. I just, I was like, okay, when's the movie going to start? I mean...
I actually got on my notes, love the scenery and the bald eagles. Have you ever seen a bald eagle in nature?
Just when I look in the mirror. No, I mean, I've seen them flying around, and I think I've been to a museum or two where they had, had one that they were showcasing.
Did the polar bear make you think of a Coca-Cola commercial? It did me. Are we in a Coke commercial now?
No, I think my recent mistake of watching Cocaine Bear. Now every time I see a bear in a movie, I'm thinking like, is he doing drugs on the side? Like, the bear from Cocaine Bear?
Is Cocaine Bear dealing? That's probably a future movie torture we'll be watching.
Yes, probably so. So one of the first notes I made was the same thing that you said right at the beginning of your synopsis, the Indian coat,
That's a power coat, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand.
If you're going to wear tassels, you got to be like a super masculine dude who can beat up everybody, because I don't know, just if you're wearing tassels, you're gonna get teased. I don't know. Tassels
with a ponytail.
Yeah.
Not only just tassels.
Yeah.
But he has the ponytail with the tassels.
Brent Oak.
And then we see his introduction. I love how he shows up on scene at this big fire, and it's like, because he landed and jumps off the helicopter, it's like, oh, this fire's going to get his butt kicked. It's over now. And it just this was a movie, if you watched it with subtitles, it made it a little better, because there were things being said in the background that you really couldn't hear, but with the subtitles there, you could hear him saying it, like with the press conferences and stuff that were going on. I mean, it was bad acting with the undercurrent of the comments, but it was hilarious. So
I didn't hear the undercurrent, but not to belabor the jacket. Roger, have you ever owned a jacket you truly loved that you would wear everywhere?
I did. I think I was late to the party with the members only jackets.
You were the only member?
Yeah, by then, yeah.
You're the only
everybody else had moved on.
I've got me a members only, baby.
I was usually like, first it was blue jean jackets, and I was one of probably the last ones to get that. Then it was the members only. Then, the starter jackets, I was at the beginning of that run. I
had a Boss starter jacket.
I had a Hornets one.
Me too.
Yeah. And Panthers one as well.
I'm sure the listeners are not shocked that we're not trendsetters in style.
No, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, the Indian coat, bar fight. Here's one of the things that just frustrates me with Steven Seagal movies is like, does he ever, like in wrestling, there's this term called being stiff. And it basically means that, when you get hit, I mean, like, you don't show like the punches and the stuff like phase you, and they're supposed to do that. They're supposed to sell it like Ric Flair does. But in his movies, it's like when he gets into a fight, nobody gets a punch in that hits. Nobody gets a shot to the gonads on him, or nothing. Usually guys, at least like Stallone, he lets him get beat up. He gets beat up a little bit, but Seagal's like, no, I can't. You can't mess up his face. I've got to not lay. I just that kind of frustrates me about his fight scenes.
Well, first, his acting is bottom of the line. Right?
Yeah.
And his first line of the movie, I actually wrote it down, is hey, you, what's cooking? Because I felt like his voice sounded like it was a little higher. Did you notice the higher tone?
I don't think it was high. I just think it, I don't know how to describe it.
It was different because I kept thinking, have they dubbed him? He seemed dubbed in the movie. And second,
I love how your voice of him is your same as your Italian voice that you do for.
That's Italian, but I love how he had this movie, and he's like, I want to make an inconvenient truth, but with action.
Yeah.
Basically, this is before Inconvenient. So Al Gore ripped off Steven Seagal, which is crazy to me. But he named himself Forrest, which this is the same year that Forrest Gump came out.
I didn't
so
realize
I'm just going to call him Forrest Gump throughout this movie.
Yeah, that sounds good, yeah.
And back to your...
Forrest number 2.
Forrest number 2, and this one's definitely a number 2. His fighting, I wrote down, is in slow motion.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of moving. Like if you watch JCVD, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme, he kind of moves around. He's agile. Steven Seagal looks like a short order cook who can fight.
When you said JC, my first thought was, when was Jesus in the action movie?
JCVD.
Yeah.
But he's like a short order cook who should have a hairnet on, and you come in and he's just, hey-ya, but he's not really moving anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so he goes from being like the guy who Michael Cain's character.
We haven't got into him yet, right?
But yeah, he was the boss, the owner of this big oil company. His name was Jennings, Mr. Jennings. And to me, Michael Cain played a jerk in this movie. He played what Steven Seagal is in real life, I think. You know, he's just a big jerk, and you know.
Is Sir Michael Cain, is he slumming it in this movie?
Yeah, and his hair gel, the hair gel thing with it. I mean, what was going on with that? You know, I just think it was horrible. It looked horrible. It's like, Michael, I mean,
it looked like when producer Gary wears hair gel. It was not a good look, and it was plastered on his head, and his hair was jet black.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
It's like he said, I'll anoint me some jet black hair. Yeah. My Michael Cain, that's my Sir Michael Cain. He's a sir now.
Yeah, he's a sir.
But back then in the 90s, he was not turning down movie roles. I think he was in a ton of movies.
I don't think anybody was turning down movie roles in the 90s with as many bad movies there were, and you know, and who was in them. You know, just yeah.
Is he retired now, Michael Cain?
I haven't seen him in
when
much
was the
recently.
last movie he was in? Because what's your favorite Michael Cain movie? Maybe I asked that question.
Oh man, you know, I can't even think of one right now. He's been in so many, but I just can't. Not one just jumps out at me.
I will say, I only ever knew him as an old man. Like, that's the only movies that I've seen him in, like Kingsman.
Yeah.
I thought he did okay in that one.
Yeah,
and
Kingsman.
And then he was Alfred. But he's always been, to me, he's always been an old man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's retired. I think he's still acting, but he's old.
Yeah.
He's definitely old. He is born in 1933, so he is 90 years old at this point.
So basically, Jennings, Michael Cain owns this big oil company that he purchased from the Alaskans, the Eskimos. Is Eskimos today like a PC term, or can you still use that? Or
I guess we can call them indigenous people, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that the right?
Yeah.
We can't forget that Forrest Gump lights a heater with fire, and that's a power move.
Yeah.
He takes that cigarette he's smoking, and he lights it with fire.
Yeah. I thought the same thing in that first scene, and also there was another scene later. I think he had one like that, and you know, I chew up people for smoking at the gas pump. You know, he's going into like a huge chemical oil fire. You know, with it hanging out of his mouth.
the dudes around him are like, "Hey, bro, I got a family at home, man. You can't be smoking your heater. You're gonna blow me up. I'm not gonna get home. Today's my birthday."
Yeah. Here's the other thing. I mean, this movie was like his way of like doing a political movie for the environment. But the whole thing basically is oil and everything being blown up all over the place.
Does he really care about the environment?
Yeah, he wants people to think he cares about the environment, but hey, along the way, we're just going to dump all this oil and stuff all over the place.
What about Michael Cain's bodyguard? I'm going to call him Perry because he's from Scrubs.
Oh, Perry, yeah. His name was Magruder.
Which made me think of MacGruber.
Exactly.
It took me out of the movie, made me think of MacGruber.
And out of all the bodyguards or like henchmen kind of guys, he's the worst. When things get a little stressful, he just starts firing off a gun at anybody and everybody, and with that high pitched scream. And he was totally out of character from the other roles that he's played in his career. I mean, he's always played that big, that bad guy or that military kind of guy, and this one was just. Cain's character Jennings was like a total jerk. His character was more like a whiny, who's ever had a whiny bodyguard,
When I get a henchman, my henchman is going to be cool, calm, and collected. When he follows me around, none of this screaming and shooting guns off real early.
Yeah.
My henchman's going to be cool, calm, and collected.
I thought producer Gary was your henchman.
And he's the opposite of cool, calm, and collected.
Well, you have Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt too, yeah.
I like how when Forrest Gump walks into the bar, he sees Mike Starr there. Some of you fans of Dumb and Dumber, which I'm a huge fan of Dumb and Dumber, recognize this guy.
The hot sauce dude.
The hot sauce guy. Why in the world? I guess Mike Starr's looking at Forrest going, this guy looks like a short order cook, right? Like he's not going to beat me up. I don't understand why he continues to talk junk to Steven Seagal in this movie.
No, he kept talking it. And it's like from the very first interaction in the scene, everybody in the background's going, ooh, oh. And it took Seagal like forever to finally beat the crap out of him. I just like, I don't know. When is an action star ever like Mr. Patience and like, other than Chuck Norris? I mean, Chuck Norris was,
Which brings me to this thing I've always wanted to know, Roger. I wish there was a video game. First off, who would win in a fight between Steven Seagal and JCVD?
Oh, Jean-Claude, without a doubt.
So would you want to play a video game that had Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, JCVD, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Mama Lee,
all the 80s and 90s superheroes,
Sylvester Stallone,
yeah,
Bruce
Arnold.
Willis, and it's kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
but
so that'd be cool.
We call it actor.
If
combat.
you had that actions video game, whenever like you're losing, like. I never did this, but when my son was growing up, whenever he started to lose, he would hit the reset button. Wouldn't it be cool if you hit the reset button and Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice would come through? I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, and the way you beat Seagal is you just throw muffins or donuts at him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He starts eating them, and you're like, "Oh man, I gotta eat this."
Yeah, well, definitely donuts.
I gotta eat
with
this.
Him being a law enforcement officer at one point.
He did have a show on A&E, right?
Yeah, he did.
Did you ever watch that garbage?
No, My journey through Wikipedia on him, research on him, just was the best.
What would you do if you got pulled over by Steven Seagal in New Orleans?
Yeah, in New Orleans. That's just kind of his place. So he did a handful of movies from there.
Well, now the Kremlin is his place, but then,
exactly.
then New Orleans
best buds with Putin.
Yeah. What would you do if you got listeners? What would you do if you got pulled over by Steven Seagal? Would you ask him for an autograph, or would you be like, I'm getting punked, right?
Yeah, I just don't. I think I would be kind of in shock, and I would really want to like say a really bad joke or something just to see if he'd laugh. That would be my goal, to see if I can make him laugh.
Okay, so I know
he never laughs.
He doesn't laugh. I know of 3 famous police officers, actor police officers: Steven Seagal, Shaq, Elvis.
And see, I think
Elvis, that's a new one to me.
Elvis was a Memphis. I think he was like he was a Memphis police officer. He had a badge and he would go around with a badge.
Are you sure you're not just thinking about that TV show we were watching?
I'm sure. I'm serious. He was a police officer. My question is, producer Gary, who would you rather get pulled over by? Elvis, Shaq, or Steven Seagal and get arrested?
Well, okay, first off, if I get pulled over by any of those three, I'm thinking there's no way that guy's a real cop, right? There's a camera somewhere watching me. This is some TV show, right? Definitely. That's my immediate first thought.
Yeah, especially if it's Shaq, you would think I'm getting punked right now.
I would like to get pulled over by Shaq. I think we would have a good conversation.
What is it, getting Shaq-a-fooled or whatever?
Yeah, Shaq-a-fooled, but I think he's legit a cop though, right?
Yeah,
Does Shaq carry Papa John's in his police car?
I think Shaq's the most likely to let you go.
You think he's the most likely? See, I think Shaq would still give me a ticket.
He seems like a really nice guy. I think of the three, I don't know that much about Elvis in terms of but I think Shaq would let you go. Of those three.
If Shaq walked up to my window, the first thing I'd say to him is, "Man, Papa John's pizza is the best." You got it.
You can't. What if he walks up, Roger, and you've got a gluten-free Pizza Hut box in your bag? You're done. You're cooked.
Yeah.
You are done.
If he walked up to my car, I'd say, "Hey, can I get garlic sauce to go, please?"
Oh gosh! And if Steven Seagal walked up and you had like a JCVD movie in your back seat, and it's crazy they never teamed up, right?
Let me explain that for the Gen Zers. There used to be a day when movies were actually on these little discs, and that we actually put them into a player, and we pressed play, and then they would play. They weren't streamed down from the internet.
I love how this movie sucks so bad that we've spent 5 minutes talking about who you would rather get pulled over by in New Orleans. None of us are even in New Orleans, listeners. We're not even in New Orleans.
Yeah, so we get through like the setup, and he gets because he starts to find out the conspiracy, and he's of course confronts Michael Cain. And then we get the Eskimos kind of saving his life and nursing him back to health. There's some scenes at that point we can't really talk about. I felt kind of like I felt like I needed to fast forward through some of it because it was, I wonder if he was. What is that the Eskimos and Indians smoke? The
peace pipe.
But there's what's the name of it? It's there's a certain name for it. I can't think of it. But yeah, I just he starts having these visions and all that, and just it was kind of crazy. And then when he wakes up, the lady, the like female Yoda that's there feeding him, that would have scared me to the back point. I would want to go back into a coma. Because that was.
I'm even having trouble remembering that scene.
Oh
Roger.
No, you can't forget that scene where they're nursing him back to health, and he wakes up, and as he wakes up, he sees this like 95-year-old lady who looks like I said, Yoda's grandmother, and she's trying to stick food into his mouth, and that's not like what you want to wake up with a beautiful woman with the fan and the grapes, not 95-year-old grandma to Yoda.
Yeah, you want to wake up to Joan Chen, who is also in this movie, and boy is she slumming it in this movie. Yeah. She come from The Last Emperor. It was a Steven Spielberg movie, right?
Yeah.
To now being directed by Steven Seagal, Forrest Gump.
And what does she do all movie? She carries around a bag of his weapons and explosives. Because the whole time they're doing all this stuff, he's like, hand me a C4, hand me another C4. And that's all she does is she's following around carrying a bag with him. But she drives a mean snowmobile. I mean, she did do that really well. But that was pretty much the extent. And throwing the oil on Michael Cain there in the very beginning at the press conference. Was there a man more hated at these press conferences than Jennings, Michael Cain's character on here?
I don't think so, but I wanted to ask one question about Joan. Is she basically the Co from Rambo to, the lady that hangs out with Rambo all the time?
Yeah.
She's basically the Co character, right?
I would think so.
Just make sure she does things for Rambo.
Yeah.
Carries this. I'd like to have someone that would just carry my supplies for me.
Yeah.
That would be a nice gig. I get out of my car. Hey, buddy, I guess it'd be my henchman.
Producer Gary, hand me my laptop.
Yeah, Producer Gary, hand me my laptop.
It's called a pack mule.
A pack mule. But he's a hated dude, right?
Yeah. So one of the other henchmen in the movie, Otto never speaks in this movie. The big, burly, Swedish kind of guy. He never speaks in the movie. And then we go through all the explosions and the fighting, and Michael Cain basically telling everybody to stay there. He's going to be the last guy there. He's calling everybody a lot of different names we don't use as they're fleeing from the scene.
But was Michael Cain, was he friends with Steven Seagal in the beginning? Because Steven Seagal worked for him, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of like Lieutenant Dan DeForest with legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was his Lieutenant Dan, right?
Yeah. But see, there was an excuse why Lieutenant Dan was a jerk. I mean, he was high on drugs, and, he's pretty much an addict,
True.
So he was an angry addict, but Michael Caine in this movie was just a complete rich, pompous jerk. He was horrible in this movie. So we get through the action scenes and we get down to the very end of the movie. Worst speech ever.
You're at the end.
Yeah,
I'm not quite there yet.
Okay, all right. So look,
I have a few things that
I'm trying to speed through this, Brad.
There's one line in this movie I really loved. He says, "Tell him I'm a mouse hiding from the hawks in the house of a raven."
Yeah.
That is the dumbest line.
What does that mean?
Exactly, Producer Gary. What does that mean? And we haven't even talked about Arlie Ermy in this movie, who is slumming it. What's your major malfunction? How did we miss Arlie Ermy? He is slumming it. He needs to be asking himself.
And he has the best lines in the movie.
He does, but he needs to be asking himself, what's my major malfunction
Yeah.
for being in this stupid movie?
Yeah.
Like,
And when he jumps out of the oil there at the very end, I mean, at least let Seagal get shot in the shoulder or something just to say, but no, not Seagal. I'm going to come out of this movie totally unscathed in the midst of burning fires and fights and,
he's bulletproof.
He is.
He's bulletproof. And then let's not forget Billy Bob. This movie has good actors in it.
Billy Bob's lines are pretty good too.
Yeah, Billy Bob. Do you think Billy Bob came to set and he was like, I got this Carl character, Sling Blade, and why am I doing this Forrest Gump movie? And
I think like some of his lines, like when he's up there getting ready to, and he's like talking about how, this dude's awesome, like talking about Seagal and his fight scenes, like building them up, like, he's better than we thought, and I don't know. I just I thought his appearance was wasted. He should have been there from the beginning. I was actually looking for him in the very beginning when the group of henchmen showed up. I'm like, where's Billy Bob at?
He didn't show up till at least an hour in the movie. Right?
I know. What a waste.
And this was prime fat Billy Bob.
Yeah.
He was gearing up to be Carl in Sling Blade in this movie. Like, he probably left the set and was like, now I'm going to go make an Academy Award-winning movie.
This was pre-Angelina Jolie. I mean, this was...
Yeah, but this was, gonna get me a Sling Blade on,
Yeah.
That's basically what he's doing. Okay, I also wrote, how scary would it be to jump off a cliff with a horse?
I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, that's a crazy scene.
Yeah.
If you could have one animal to jump off a cliff with, which animal are you choosing?
Maybe like something big, like a bear or elephant to cushion my fall.
Oh, I'm taking monkey, man. They got those monkey hands.
Yeah.
Just get down. They can jump out of trees. Or a cat. Cats can fall. They got 9 lives.
Or one of those bats, the big bats who can spread their wings and, I don't know.
It's not going to be a horse because their legs break really easy.
Yeah.
And then you got to shoot them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to shoot the horse when I'm sitting down there. I was like, "Hey, thanks, Mr. Ed. You jumped off the cliff for me, but now I gotta shoot you because your leg is broken."
I wonder how many horses they went through in this movie, to get that scene right.
Could you imagine? I bet Steven Seagal was like, probably, he probably shot a few horses in his day because they got a leg broke because he's so big.
Yeah. There's many things that he did wrong in his life. As a matter of fact, let's just jump on that real quick. The dude had 8 sexual harassment suits against him through the 90s and 2000s. He was convicted, or at least charged, with federal security violations. He had incidents with stuntmen where he didn't pay them or treated them unfairly on the scenes. His Wikipedia page of like his troubles with people were longer than his movie credits. He and he was still a cop. I mean, in the midst of all this, it's just kind of crazy, all the crazy stuff that he did. All right, so anything else before we get to the last scene? The most moving scene ever in film?
I got to be honest. I read that he wanted 40 minutes. He had a 40-minute cut of him giving a speech at the end.
Yeah.
And when he started talking, I really just zoned out. I'm like, this is.
I didn't even write down any notes from that. I just wrote worst movie speech ever.
Worst movie speech ever.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of worst.
Yeah.
Roger, do we have any reviews for this movie?
Nothing good.
I have some 5-star reviews I'm going to read.
Yeah, one guy said that he said there were more, the speech was more interesting than the fighting.
Oh my gosh.
That's how bad.
I gotta be honest. The fighting I would give at least a 7 to. There were some good expectations are very low. The fightings and also this is our third movie in a row where we've seen a barfing scene.
Yeah.
We're on the barfing train at this point.
Yeah.
And
that was Michael Starr at the bar fight, right?
Yeah, and Joan Chen, attractive lady.
Yeah.
She's probably a solid 7 on the 10 scale if we're going to. But he surprisingly he didn't put a lot of chicks in this movie. There wasn't a lot of chicks in this movie.
Yeah, I would
probably because they didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
He's a skeezy dude.
Which was probably a good thing,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Side note, before we get more, did you know he was called the worst SNL guest host of all time?
Wow. I'm not surprised.
And David Spade said that.
We always bring up David Spade on this podcast. Yeah. Every week there's a David Spade drop somewhere in this podcast.
Yeah, 6 degrees of David Spade.
Exactly.
But yeah, by the time Saturday came around, he had basically belittled everybody on the cast and crew, that the writers stopped writing stuff for him, and literally, and then a few weeks later, they had another guest on the show, and the guest was like, "I don't want to be the worst host ever," and then somebody spoke up and said, "No, Steven Seagal already handled that." So, but yeah, okay, let's get back to the reviews. What else did you come up with?
Okay, I found some amazing 5-star reviews on Amazon from people that actually bought this movie.
Eesh.
Yeah. This is from Rolling Stone. Maybe his first name is Roland. I don't know, but he goes by Rolling Stone.
He must have been stoned while he was watching this movie.
Had to have been. He said, 5 stars, amazing action, beautiful scenery, an absolutely brilliant and socially valuable plot. Don't be shocked, it really is. This is a permanent classic. I really feel sorry for Rolling Stone right now, because if he thinks this movie's a classic, I'd like to email Rolling Stone.
Yeah, Roger Ebert said the movie was limited to basic qualities. It's violent and it's sanctimonious. Yeah.
This is a 5-star review. Gregory Matisse. He wrote in 2014, "Love Steven Seagal. Can he make a bad movie? ? He has to be trolling, right?
Yeah.
There's no way he thinks Steven Seagal only makes good movies. There's no way.
Yeah. One critic said that Seagal lacked acting technique and the ability behind the camera to keep the story simple and direct. I mean, we pretty much affirmed that pretty quickly on.
Well, he doesn't know how to direct.
Yeah.
And he's basically done it by himself. This guy gives it 4 out of 5, so he would not give it a 5. Ryan Couture from 2015 said, Steven Seagal, what's not to love, ?
His movies.
Well, his movies, his life, his behavior.
Yeah.
Basically, everything about Steven Seagal is unlovable.
Yeah.
And I would not want to hang out with Forrest in this movie. No. I would. He is a dude. I would rather hang out with that Mike Starr character who bullied him.
One critic said to understand Seagal is to understand. All you have to do is watch On Deadly Ground, and that sums up kind of who he is as a person and actor and everything.
Do you feel like the studio guy was like, "Well, we gave him On Deadly Ground, and that movie stunk, and Under Siege stunk." Like, do you feel like he regretted doing this?
I think he made a lot of money. Oh, the producer.
The movie studio that made the deal with the devil.
I don't know.
You're signing that deal, man.
Yeah, there were a lot of dumb people like us in the 90s who went to go see the movies. So, they made a killing from it. So I would think, if you're associated with them, you would have made some money. And
this is right when he's about to tip the scales to fat Steven Seagal, right? Like he's on the ledge of fat Steven Seagal. Yeah. He's almost there.
He was a Buddhist, and he was so much a Buddhist, he decided he wanted to look like Buddha as best he could by the end, yeah.
Do you guys think, how do people get famous for such a bad movie? Like, from what I've heard, this is this guy's a terrible actor. How do you guys think that someone that's apparently never made a good movie, from what y'all are telling me, get famous and are so well known? I've heard this name, but I've never seen a movie. But I know,
Well, see, the '90s were 80s and '90s were action movies. And it didn't matter how you acted. I mean, just go down the list: Seagal, Schwarzenegger, some of the worst actors, but they were action heroes, and everybody loved, watching the bombs explode and fight scenes, and so. Even guys like who's the guy that was in Rocky IV, Rocky V, Morrison?
Oh, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Yeah. He was an action hero in a movie during
in the worst
time.
Rocky.
Yeah. Well, even there was another movie I think he was in too. But there were just a lot of bad action heroes. And as long as you had action, and then you had one of those movie trailers that went, in the beginning, But
Steven Seagal had already done Under Siege, which was a good movie. It's his best movie. It's got Gary Busey in it.
And Tommy Lee Jones.
And Tommy. So it's, again, the heavy hitters come out to play with Steven Seagal, but he has to be the man. And it's just, Roger, not to belabor the point, is this movie torture or is this movie gold for you?
This is complete torture. This is like having, I go to the movies to eat popcorn, and that's one of my favorite things. But this was like going to the movie and having to eat broccoli while you're watching or some other disgusting vegetable. So
I like broccoli, maybe spinach. I don't want to eat spinach, but this is amazingly bad movie torture. Please do not force me to watch this movie again. I don't know if I even want to revisit another Steven Seagal movie for a while. I got to get this taste out of my mouth.
Yeah.
This was, as I like to call, hot garbage.
It was.
It was hot garbage. Well, thank you guys for listening. For producer Gary and Roger, this podcast brought to you by Hopecast, and we would love your feedback. Follow us on Movie Torture Pod on Instagram. Leave us your feedback. Follow us there. Leave us a review on iTunes. Only if it's good, though. We don't like bad reviews, do we, Roger?
No bad reviews.
No, if you're going to leave a bad review, we're going to make you watch a bunch of Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah, so, and if you're going to leave a bad review, at least do it anonymously so we don't, know who around us doesn't like us, so we won't feel awkward around you.
Yes, we don't want to feel awkward around you if you don't like our. But again, we'll just send you a bunch of Steven Seagal movies and make you watch them. So, hey, for everybody here, we'll see you next week. What's our next movie, Roger? We don't know yet. We haven't decided.
Is it not bench warmers?
Oh, it is. It's bench warmers. Yeah, we're doing bench warmers next week. So if you like David Spade, the David Spade train will continue.
Yeah.
With bench warmers.
You got to love Brad. Brad texts me and tells me what movies we're doing, and then he has to ask me which movies we're doing.
I know. Thank you, Roger. Hey, for all that being said, we'll see you on the bench warmer episode. Be cool. Have a great week.